Hi, this is Joe Zalescik. I'm running for Mount Airy City Commissioner in the South Ward in the upcoming primary election. I was a former city commissioner for 14 months, and I basically am running because I have a lot of unfinished business on the board. I enjoyed my time serving as a Mount Airy City Commissioner, and I also enjoyed my time serving as a Mount Airy City Planning Board member. Which brings me to my first issue of the day. Now, we're doing this video on a Sunday afternoon, no editing. Everything is going to just be maybe a 10-minute video. You can fast forward, reverse, do whatever you want. There's no AI. This is me in person talking about my candidacy and what I plan to do for the city. So, first of all, there is a piece of land, about an acre or so, acre and a half, on Cherry Street, right across from City Hall. This property was part of the downtown master plan, and it was slated basically as an opportunity zone for development. So the city decided a few months ago to hold a public hearing about the Cherry Street lot and what should be done with it. The city owns this lot. It is not a park. It is used once in a while during the summer for a splash pad for the rec department. But this was a residential area a long time ago. From what I understand, there were quite a few homes there, and they went into disrepair and were torn down, and the city ended up with the lot. The history was that there was going to be a bank built there, and there was a bidding war between Carter Bank and Surrey Bank, and at the time the city administration decided not to accept any of the offers, and then the land basically is sitting dormant. So we do have a housing crisis in Mount Airy. We need market rate housing, not huge McMansions, but homes that young people can afford. Now, there's been some scare tactics out there that this was going to be affordable housing or Section 8 housing. All of that is just speculation and false information. The average homeowner for buying their first home is 49 years old. Now, I bought my first home when I was 23, had a huge mortgage, was over my head. Back in the 80s with a 9.75% interest. Never missed a payment, worked hard, paid off my house. What are young people today facing? They're facing high interest rates and high housing prices. So the plan for Cherry Street would basically build between 12 and 14 small type homes, cottage style homes, or townhomes. You can see this. Now, this whole plan is on the city website. So you can look at it, read through it. It's, 100 pages or so. And I support this development. I supported the downtown master plan. My vote was the deciding vote on that plan back in October of 2022. The vote was 3-2. And I voted in favor of the downtown master plan. Since then, not a whole lot has happened with this plan. People were scared that it was going to take away the small town Mayberry look, that streets were going to be torn up, and that the city is not going to be the same. Some people said it was going to be a little Asheville. Nothing like that is going to happen. What really needs to happen with the downtown master plan is that the infrastructure that's underground, which are water lines, sewer lines, and storm drainage lines, need to be replaced and modernized for all the businesses along Main Street and some of the side streets. Also, the overhead power lines need to be explored about putting those lines underground. Now, again, going back over a year ago, I was working on setting up the Autumn Leaves Festival on a Thursday afternoon, and lo and behold, one of those overhead power lines started to arc right in front of the Chamber of Commerce building. So I called the fire department. Also, Duke Energy came out. People had speculated for years that these power lines only powered the street lighting and the traffic lights. Well, those lines also connected to a lot of stores downtown, and they experienced some power outages when this line started arcing. So what would have happened if that line had arced and fallen down on the sidewalk? Luckily, it did not happen, but it could happen. We don't want to see that happen. But the city needs to move forward with the downtown master plan to explore the costs and the opportunities to upgrade that infrastructure. The other issue with downtown are the sidewalks, the curb cuts, and basically mobility for people that have issues in wheelchairs or they use canes and walkers. It can be a little difficult to navigate downtown. And also, the downtown master plan has, cited those issues where the sidewalks are too narrow, the curb cuts are too steep for wheelchairs. So all that has to be addressed, and again, should I get elected, I will continue to push for the downtown master plan. So I want to talk a little bit more about public safety. My background is in the fire service. I served for 42 years in a volunteer fire company and also as an elected fire commissioner for 28 years of those 42. For me, public safety is number one. Police and fire need to be fully funded. Our police department needs to look for a national certification because I know that Mount Airy Police do a great job, but I think if they apply for national certification, there can be opportunities for additional grant money and also as a recruitment tool for new recruit police officers. Now, a number of weeks ago we had a tragic incident down at the gas station where a gentleman was murdered in cold blood. The shooter was on the loose. From what I was told, 45 minutes or so, he was on the loose. Schools were locked down, businesses were notified to lock down, but the public in general knew nothing about this. So, and I've proposed this at a public meeting, that Mount Airy needs to have an emergency alert system to notify the public of critical incidents, whether it's shootings, a fire, road closure, a water main break, or even changes in the trash day pickup. These systems are available from multiple companies. They can notify you by phone, by text, by email, by landline, many different ways to be notified. But I feel that the city can afford a system like this because it's your public safety. If something happens, you need to get the right information from the city, not from Facebook, not from Instagram, not from somebody emailing you back and forth. You need to get the accurate information whenever there is a critical incident. So that's my public safety thing. Also, we do need to fully fund all of our police officers, whether positions are vacant or not. I know that the city had reduced 4 officers. Now they're going to come back and maybe hire 2 more. But all 4 of those positions need to be filled. So again, I'm going to go along with some other issues. Property taxes. It's a big deal. You get your property tax bill every year, and 99.5% of the tax money is paid, which is a great amount to keep the city coffers operating. Mount Airy has a very responsible financial management plan. The administration does a good job. They do their due diligence regarding your property tax money. The problem is we need new ratables, which means new development for economic development, new development for housing, new businesses to come in so that when the budget goes up, and it goes up every year, there's no getting away from that. I'm not here to say we're going to cut the budget in half and save all this money. No, the city has to grow along with the tax ratables growing. So people can say, well, we didn't raise your taxes. The tax rate remained the same as it did last year. That may be true, but when you look at your tax bill from year to year, and I'm just talking about the Mount Airy section, Mount Airy city budget, not the school budget, not the county. But what you pay went up, even though the tax rate remained the same. And that's because the property tax valuation of your home went up. It didn't go down because markets continued to go up. So if you paid $1,500 last year and now you're paying $1,550, the tax rate might have remained the same, but your property value went up. So in order to grow ratables and keep the tax rate below what it was, that's how you get a tax cut. So if you grow enough ratables to cover the budget, the tax rate doesn't have to be where it is. It could be reduced. And then you really get a break even if your property value goes up. So, that's a big challenge. We do have a housing shortage. There's been a housing summit in Surrey County. There's been an economic development summit. And the city is getting some grant money for the Westwood property, about a 100-acre site off of 52. They're looking at some economic development there for commercial or industrial type business. The other part of that property really needs to be looked at for housing, and that's going to take a big effort. There's a lot of challenges with that land. There's a lot of steep slopes, and it's going to take quite a bit to have that shovel ready for housing development. So, primary election. The actual day of the election is Tuesday, March the 5th. And I want to make sure that I give you accurate information about voting. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee from my favorite fire department mug. So, there has been numerous changes in the election law within the last year and within, the last number of months. First change is you're going to need a voter ID to vote. Whether you're going to vote early in person or if you're going to wait until Tuesday, March 5th and vote at your precinct. The best advice I would give you is to get a voter ID card from the Surrey County Board of Elections. Because if you look at your driver's license picture, you may not look like that when you show up at the polls. That license picture could have been taken, who knows, 7, 8 years ago. And it's going to be difficult for the poll workers to guarantee that you're the person with that driver's license if that's really you. So I would suggest that you get the voter ID card. It is free. Stop in to the Surrey County Board of Elections during the week, during normal business hours, and they'll take care of it for you. So early voting starts February 15th for the 2024 primary. Now there are 2 early voting locations. The Dobson office, which is at the Board of Elections, and of course we have early voting in Mount Airy because the majority of voters are from Mount Airy. So the Surrey County Board of Elections voted to have an early voting site in Mount Airy. And that is at the Surrey County Government Resource Center on State Street. So like I said, February 15th, first day of early voting. It runs Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that runs until March 2nd. There is no early voting on Sundays. You can choose which location you want to go to, and you will get your Mount Airy city ballot, whether you go to the Dobson location or the Mount Airy location. Also, you can vote by mail right now. You can apply. You can download your application from either the Surry County Board of Elections website or the North Carolina Board of Elections website, and you can put your application in the mail, and starting around the 19th of January or so, those absentee ballots will be mailed to you. Now, there are some other issues with absentee ballots this year, and I go back to the voter ID. The county has to verify your identification. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do that. You can't send your driver's license in with your voter ID application. You need 2 witnesses, or you need a notary to notarize your absentee ballot. A notary cannot charge you for that service. I am a notary. I am a North Carolina notary. I've been one over a year. And as part of our training, they tell us if you notarize an absentee ballot, you cannot charge that person for that. So I cannot notarize your ballot because I'm a candidate. But if you need that, you don't need the 2 witnesses. You just get it notarized. You can find a notary at any of the banks. You can find a notary at real estate offices, attorneys, and then there are private companies that have notaries on site, like the mailbox stores, the UPS stores. So like I said, I'm asking you for your vote for Mount Airy City Commissioner, South Ward, and everybody can vote if you're within the city limits of Mount Airy, regardless of whether it's south or north or at large. Some people get a little confused about that. We have a ward system, but it's on the candidate. So the candidate has to live in the ward that they're running for. Like I said, I live in the South Ward. I'm running for South Ward Commissioner. Others are running in the North Ward. There's a primary in the North Ward. And there is an at-large seat currently held by Deborah Cochran. She is not facing a primary. So basically there will be, 2 offices that you can vote for City Commissioner, North and South, in this coming primary. There's a couple other issues that are of concern as I walk around town, and that is the homeless issue and the drug issue. I know the city has been proactive with the homeless population, trying to get help for people that want help. But as you know, it's a difficult situation. And there are resources in the county that can help the homeless. The problem is, people are being shipped here from other cities. There is a circuit out there where homeless get together and they say, oh yeah, go to Nashville, they got a new homeless shelter and all that. Or go to Mount Airy, they'll give you free stuff. Well, a lot of that is false hope. And I think that Mount Airy itself cannot solve this problem. It's a national problem. It needs national solutions and funding for those solutions. The other major issue is the drug problem, whether it's fentanyl or meth, all different street drugs that are out there. Again, we cannot arrest our way out of the drug problem. People need drug treatment. They need resources. It's a disease. Like alcoholism is a disease. And this issue, again, you can't arrest your way out of it. And Mount Airy can't have all the solutions or fund all the solutions. We have some great programs in Surry County. And if you know anybody that's abusing drugs or in trouble, there are many resources out there for you. The problem with the homeless issue and the drug issue is that your quality of life suffers when you become a victim of petty theft. Somebody breaks into your car. You don't feel safe walking down the street at night because there might be some guy or gal lurking in the corner and you don't know what's going on with them. So, like I say, you see something, you say something. And maybe people will feel safer? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'd like to ask questions about these things and find out the answers. The other thing is about transparency in government. I've been involved in local government for probably 40 years, and I consider my fire service as part of local government. And I always do my research, I always do my homework, and I vote my conscience. I vote on principle. Whatever issue comes before me. Now, my vote may not be popular, but that's the way I feel about things, and you're going to get an honest answer from Joe Zalescik should you re-elect me South Ward City Commissioner. I do, like I said, I do my homework, I do my due diligence, and then I make a decision. I don't like to kick the can down the road, like the downtown master plan is being kicked down the road. So we need people on the board that are proactive, that are transparent and open about what's going on in the city. Some people tell me they don't trust City Hall. Well, it's like anything else. People don't like Congress, but they like their congressperson. So with City Hall, I know we're in a transition with the city manager position. I was involved in hiring the former city manager, did a lot of interviews, did a lot of homework, and made a decision to hire that gentleman. Now we have an interim city manager, temporary city manager. I don't know what the city's going to do, but I have all the confidence in the world with Darren Lewis, and if he wants the job, he should take the job. But if he doesn't, then I'm sure the city will do another national search and find a city manager that will fit the needs of the current administration. So I want to conclude this by basically telling you I will be walking the neighborhoods of Mount Airy, door to door, retail politics. Politics, again, is not a dirty word. It's the system that we have. And like I said, I'll be going door to door. You can talk to me, you can call me, you can email me. This video is going to be put on Facebook. You can comment on the video. My cell phone number, 336-934-2791. My email address is Zales60, which would be Z-A-L-E-S, 60, the number, at yahoo.com. And if you want to comment on the video, ask me a question, I'm an open book. We love our city. Amy and I moved here almost 5 years ago. We got married here 3 years ago. And we got here as quick as we could. We love our community. And all I want to do is I want to make it better. I want to leave it better than I found it. You know, I'm planning, like I said, to run for this position. It's a 4-year term, and I hope you will support me in the upcoming election. And I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail. Thank you very much.